All right, so welcome everyone to week 4 of our Summer Success Series, Back to Basics calls we are doing. And tonight we have a very special guest. Our guest tonight happens to be my longest best friend. We have been best friends since about age 5. She still resides in Oregon near the Portland area. She was one of the very first people to jump into Isagenix with me, for which I am forever grateful. She has been the top income earner on our team ever since. Miss Katie Noah is a 5-star Golden Circle, 2-star Crystal Executive, and juggles a lot with her home, her husband, her stepdaughter, who's about to graduate 8th grade, and just is a wonderful, strategic, very good at strategy and execution human. If you need those traits in your life, you need a Katie Noah in her life. I lovingly call her my travel agent also. She's very good at that kind of stuff. So without further ado, Katie Noah is going to teach us about how to plug in our new customers, new associates, and launch those using our nutrition and those who we get started to long-term success. So Katie, go ahead and take it away. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Lindsay. That was such a nice introduction. So I'll just dive right in. So yeah, tonight I'm going to talk about getting people plugged in and getting people started. And I've been in this now for almost 5 years, 5 years in September. And I would say that there's definitely a learning curve to that when you get going, and figuring out how to juggle the people that you're getting started, especially when you're first building this business. And if you bring in a handful of people at once, like how can you really manage that and make sure that people are successful? Because if we can get people excited and successful and feeling good as quick as possible, then that's going to really increase your retention and have long-term happy customers, which is what you really want. And also having those long-term happy business partners through the whole process, as they grow, as they're learning. And so it's taken, I would say this has changed over the years, what we do, how we do it. But I feel like in the last 6 months, we've really dialed in how we're getting people started and kind of launched in our business and as product users. And I have seen such a shift as far as the retention of people that we have and the happy people that we have. So I'm happy to share it with you tonight. So first, when we first get people enrolled, I'll kind of go through what I do for people product-wise and then what I do for people business-wise. So with people getting started with the products, the very first thing, like right after I get them enrolled, is adding them to the team pages first. Adding them to your product page and getting that introduction out there. And that we've done from the beginning, and that Lindsay and I have both talked about, we think is so important because, people can have buyer's remorse or think, what did I just do? Or, they're like nervous about it. So if you can get that welcome message up on those team pages right away, and they start getting those welcomes, we're so excited to have you. They start to feel that community right away. And that's what people really want as a community and support system. And the minute they start feeling that, they can start getting excited and they can think, oh, okay, this was a really good decision, and they start to see that positivity that goes on in our pages. So getting that done right away is so important. The next thing I do is right after I enroll them, I send them a welcome email, and Isagenix sends a welcome email, as well. But I think it's really important to get one from you that has some information in there. You think about you are going to go over all kinds of things with them and they get that box and it's overwhelming. So if they can have that, they may not go through it all right away. Some people do, a lot of people don't. But what's happened is as we move through the process and they're trying to figure out, every little thing and trying to get their schedule set up, then we've been able to reference back to that, and say, oh, okay, there's an attachment in your email for that. And I'll show you guys, ours has evolved over the years as well, but the latest one we have, I love it. And I think I've had the most response from it as far as people really utilizing it and hearing people utilizing what we add to it. So let me just open the share screen. And all you got is my little folder here. But basically, I just keep a folder on my computer. And here's the welcome email. And it says, welcome to the team, and it just runs through making sure that we include what their username and login is, making sure that we include the auto ship information in here. And I put everyone that starts with a pack, I put the daily wellness pack in their auto ship. That's that new really great one that we have because it's the most value for them. And also, if you ever have those people that forget to, or you can't get a hold of them for their first auto ship, it's a set of products they're going to use. So it's not like they got a bunch of stuff they're not going to use. It's 2 canisters, a cleanse, an Ionix, and then I usually fill it in with another box of whey thins and like a box of bars. And that's how I complete their daily wellness. And then that way, it's all something that they would use. I actually had a lady recently, I couldn't get a hold of her. She didn't get in there to change it. And when she got it, she was panicked at first thinking, oh, I got this box, I don't need it. And I said, well, let's look at it. And then she realized, oh, this is exactly what I need actually. So she was just short a couple of other things she wanted to get, but she had everything that could keep her going and she wouldn't have to have a break in using Isagenix. So the first thing we talk about is our IsaLife app, and we talk about our Facebook pages, and it goes through a few other things, and I'll go through those steps. But we send this email, and then we also send, that's just me working on promotion stuff there, these attachments right here. So we have these really great cleanse day schedule and shake day schedule for people. And I just like this because the ones that Isagenix sends are great. They show a lot of flexibility in them, but some people need that like piece by piece structure. And I'll make sure and send these things over to the leaders that we've been working with too. And that way everyone can get them out to their team so you guys can take a look at them. But it really helps those people who need that like step-by-step structure. You have some that need flexibility and some that need the structure. And so it gives you both options for people. We also have this healthy snack suggestion sheet that helps people kind of get the wheels turning on what should they buy for those healthy snacks and gives them an idea to get started there. And then I also always include the get your products for free document. And then I also include the roadmap to success, which is like a snapshot of the Map to Crystal Executive, but just really basic. So these we include for people to be able to take a look at, but I've had a lot more people referencing these sheets that I've been attaching, I think because they're just really simple and straightforward. So that is what I send with the welcome email. Let me hit stop share. And I'm just going to look at the where are those attachments from? Did you create them? Oh, Heidi. Yeah. So actually, we got those from another teammate on our larger team. And I don't know where she got them, but she shared them with us. And so we just
made them. Carrie
made them?
Yeah. If you know Carrie Eltringham, she's the one that made them.
Yeah. So, and we've talked about rebranding them, but you know what? Just haven't taken the time. They've been working great. So. So yeah, we'll share those with you guys, and you can, make your own if you want, but at least like it has something for you to get started and be able to use that. They're just really simple for people to understand. So I send that with the welcome email, and also included in the welcome email is a piece that says, the ways that they can share Isagenix. The 3 different ways to share Isagenix, and we'll get into that. But everything in there basically like kind of gets their wheels turning with the Map to Executive and getting their products paid for and all of that. So it really just kind of sets the stage for you. So then the very next step is downloading the IsaLife app, and I make sure that they get the IsaLife app downloaded. There has been so many great things done by corporate talking about the IsaLife app and how much it's helped retention. And I totally see it. I see it all the time. Like people are really using it when you get it downloaded for them and get them started with it. And just at Top Achievers, they talked about how the retention increase and the amount of people using it and how much they've seen an increase in people using it for, doing their auto ship and all of those things. So getting people into that app is a huge, huge piece of getting people started right and feeling like they have the tools. And then the IsaBody, which is also in the email, but I talked to them directly about IsaBody. So we need to take your pictures. And what I honestly tell people is I say, I didn't take before pictures and always wished I would have. You know, you may have done everything and you may not want those pictures. You think you don't want those pictures right now, but I promise you, you're going to want them later. And but let's get your pictures. And I talked to them about IsaBody and how let's get those submitted. You'll get your $200 in free product no matter what happens. You know, you're going to use the product and then you're going to get your $200 coupon. So let's get those put in. And most of the time, as they're getting started, you know, again, they can be overwhelmed with a lot going on. I have had the most success with people getting in the IsaBody and staying in the IsaBody when I've just put in their first pictures for them, to be honest. Like, I'm like, just send them over to me. We'll get them in there. And I just plug it in because they're trying to figure out where to log in and they don't know that, you know, the back office setup yet and all of that. And so some people end up putting it off like, oh, I'll figure it out later. And I just get them right in for them. If you also submit your IsaBody photos on the same day as that first order that you enter for them, that BV will count towards their IsaBody. So that can be really helpful, you know, for the 500 BV for some of those people. So being able to get that, get those submitted on the first day can be really, really helpful. So that's what I do first thing, like first day when I enroll them, those pieces are taken care of on that same day. Then when their box arrives, so for anyone that lives, and this can be different in your area, you know, however you're laid out here, I have to drive like everywhere, but I say anyone who lives like within, you know, 30 minutes or so from me, I go to their house directly when their box arrives. And I tell them when that box comes, like, don't open it, just call me, send me a message, and then I'll come over that night or I'll, you know, whatever that looks like. And you can usually, you know, when you've been doing this for a little while, you know about when their box is going to show up. And so I already kind of blocked that out in my calendar, but I go do it in person. And otherwise, I do that on Zoom if they are too far away. So either way, because what I've found is being able to set up this visual system for them with that box. So we call it the 3-pile system. And it's something that we do on our team. And it's where I take everything out and, you know, they take everything out and they're like, this is a lot of stuff. And you're trying to, if you're on the phone, you're trying to explain, okay, you know, this is for cleansing and this is for that. And they're trying to keep it all straight. I take all the shakes and I put them over here. And then I take all the cleanse and put it over here. And then in the middle, we put our ionics. We put everything that's for like every day or any day, right? And then, but everything that's just for shake days and everything that's just for cleanse days is split up. And then the everyday is in the middle. And that has helped people really be able to wrap their head around like, okay, I'm just focusing on this side for the first couple days. And then like, don't even look at this stuff until we start our cleanse days. And so if they get a box of Isodelites and a box of Wathins and like their cleanse support stuff, I will take out all the Isodelites they need for the 4 days and put it on the cleanse side, and the 4 bags of Wathins and put it on the cleanse side, and then the rest goes in the middle. And I'm like, you can tap into these whenever you need them, but this is your cleanse and don't touch that until our cleanse day. And it's just really, really helped people to be able to look at it and realize it's not overwhelming. It's going to be really, really simple. So that's really hard to do over a phone call, but it's really helped people to feel like, okay, I've got this. So when I've done it on Zoom before, you know, I'll bring some of my products in here and I'm like, okay, see this cleanse? Like, go find this, show it to me. And they show it. I'm like, okay, put it on your left. Okay, put it on your right, you know, and we go through that process. So that's just really helpful for people. And then while I'm there, we also decide when's their first cleanse day. And usually how I talk to them about that is, okay, we're going to get at least a couple of shake days in, but then when's your busiest day of the week? And that is when we figure out when their cleanse is going to be. Most people think that they want to do it on the weekend. That's usually almost always what people think. And I tell them like, no, you're not going to have to be near a bathroom. You just want to be busy and you don't want to be at home on the weekend, you know, you sitting around and or buy a kitchen, or not going to activities that you have on your schedule. So let's find your busiest day. And that works out perfect. And we set that up, and I make sure I write that down so that I can make sure and be checking in with them on that day. Then also while I'm there, have them on Zoom. That's when, if it hasn't come up already, I talk about getting their products paid for. And it's in our welcome email, but this is when I talk to them about it face to face. And this I learned from Tanya Kirkpatrick, and it has helped so much in more people just sharing and at least turning consultant, and then for some realizing how fun it is and how simple that was and continuing to grow. But this has been really helpful. And so I just take part of the box. We've got it all laid out there. Like lately it's been this cute little, have you guys seen like the cute new little box that the shaker cup comes in? And so I just fold that lid out, and it's this white space, and that's where we draw it. And so it's like right there. And so I tell them, I say, people are going to start noticing, the changes that you've been making. So there's 3 different ways you can handle this. You can either refer them to me, you can get your products paid for with some referral bonuses, or you can supplement your income. You can do whatever you want with that, but I'm obligated to show you at least how to get your products paid for. And then I just show them that. So it's just set up in a real professional way of like, I'm obligated to show you this so that you don't have to feel like it's weird. But it makes it so the conversation is simple, and we go through that, and you're able to answer any questions for them. Then I add them to a group message. That's everything I do at the meeting. Then after that, I add them to a group message with no more than 2 or 3 other people who are getting started at the same time. So, most people start on a Monday. Almost everyone decides to start on a Monday. So if I didn't have, 2 or 3 people starting at the same time, you can find someone on your team that had someone starting at the same time. There were definitely other enrollments in your team that week, but team up 2 or 3 people in a text message thread, and I introduce them if they didn't know each other already, and I can say, like the one recently, it's like, Stacy, she's a, flight attendant, so she's really excited for this to be simple. And here's Amy, she is just sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. Here's Jamie, her kid is 2 now and wants to finally deal with the baby weight, so that's like what, so everyone kind of knows where people are at. And because what I've seen is even in our product pages and that sort of thing, a lot of people, they're scared to post sometimes or ask questions. You have your people who ask questions all the time, and you have your people who never say anything on the page. But in these message threads, every single person has always talked and always asked questions and always said where they're struggling. And every single time that I have set up at least 3 people, there's always the one person who's the cheerleader, and this is completely by accident, but it just is like human nature. One person's the cheerleader, one person is terrified, and then the other person is like kind of the rock of the group. And so knows all the answers. And I swear then that way, it's like, if I can't get to them, 24/7 all day long, like with questions, they are feeding off of each other. So they never feel like their question's not getting answered or they don't have support. I'm in the thread with them, and I always say something on the thread, at least once a day, once they've gotten their conversation started. But those gals will just like keep talking all day long and help each other through everything. And especially with the cleanse days, it's been really helpful. So that just keeps them active in a conversation, and those people are being taken care of. And, I usually just make sure then as the weeks get going, I put something to them like every Monday and every Friday in this first month for people. So like Monday is, about Happy Monday, and, you talk about the week and when are we cleansing and all of that stuff. And then on Fridays, it's like when people are headed into the weekend and they kind of need that motivation. And, you ask people if they have plans for the weekend, and that's when they start saying, oh, I'm going to this barbecue and it's going to be hard. And you're able to talk through that, have your shake before you go. And, don't deprive yourself, have a little bit of everything, but don't show up hungry. You can balance that out. And we talk through that so that people feel okay with the weekend. So that first month, every Monday and Friday, we're having a conversation. And that's really helped people see that they can still live their life through this process and be able to find that balance and actually enjoy it as opposed to punishing themselves for it. And then let's see, the week before their first auto ship. So then that's when I reach out to everyone individually and tell them, okay, your auto ship's coming up next week. So, let's jump on the phone, or, we can message, but, let's figure out where you're at with your stuff and where you're at with your goals and what you have left so that we can figure out what you need refills on. And we talk through that. Obviously most people haven't lost the weight that they wanted in the first month. So we're usually doing shakes and cleanse and whatever in the next month. So usually people have about a whole canister between all their shakes left at the end of the month. So usually we're getting at least 2 more canisters. We're getting a thing of cleanse. And then this is when I always talk to people about the bars, if they haven't had bars yet, because of the convenience and being able to just have them on the go. And now I have so many people that are ordering just like cases of bars, which is so funny. But they didn't realize that was an option. And so we start talking about the bars, and then that really gets people, tapping into other products. It also gets them looking more at what's available on there and seeing maybe what else can, give them an alternative, or what other ideas are there. So those are the main things that we start tapping into, bars and hydrate. And that is how we get people set up then for the next month. But you can talk through everything with them and like what needs aren't being met. If somebody's talking about, sweet tooth or, cravings or something, you can help them find things in our back office that will help meet their needs. Slim cakes, that's a big one for the people with the sweet tooth cravings at night. Okay, so that is what I go through with everyone when it comes to products. And it seems like a lot of interaction, but what I found is when you get it dialed in, really, it just becomes a simple process that, like for example, I showed you the folder that I have on my desktop of all the stuff that I send out at first. It's just like grab it and paste it, and all of that everything just goes so smoothly. It takes such a minimal amount of time, but then people feel, you're really touching them instead of having people fall off and forgetting about them. Okay, so if somebody is coming in for the business, so if somebody is ready to share, wants to share and get going. So the first thing we do is create some urgency around grabbing 2 friends right away. I'm like, let's grab 2 friends. We need to get you going with 2 friends. Let's see, let me get the question. Do you say a script or something right away up front when you enroll them to let them know that you will be interacting with them a lot to set the expectation? Oh, as far as like probably in the text message group, is that what you mean, Becca? I don't want to skip ahead.
Or even just like when you're first enrolling them, you say like, let's stay in touch. Let's really keep in contact to have your best success. Or how do you kind of set that expectation?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like I make it pretty clear to people that I am here for them every step of the way. I feel like that's the phrase I use a lot. I say, I am here for you every step of the way. So you are not in this alone. I am going to be helping you with anything you need. You do not hesitate to contact me. But telling them like, I'm going to be here through the whole process. So that then, yeah, it does kind of set like, I'm not just getting you going and then I'll just talk to you when you need me, So that really sets it up for them. So it sounds, in a way, it sounds like, I'm here to be your cheerleader instead of like, I'm going to be on you, So that kind of helps people. They feel really comfortable. They're like, okay, she's got me, So that's what's worked for me. Okay, so when we're coming in for the business, so yeah, we create the urgency on grabbing 2 friends right away. So I tell them, I say, the best thing we can do is get you started with 2 people right away. So who do you know? Let's think about this. And, whether it's their husband, their best friend, their mom, focus on 2 people who are kind of those people around them that would do something with them just to do something with, if they said, like, I could call Lindsay and say, hey, I'm doing this, try it with me. And she'd say, okay. It's those people that are just going to do it with you, your sister, your aunt, whoever you're close to. And so we talk about, like, who are those people close to you that you have close contact with that we could talk to right away about doing this. And we get them started with 2 right away. Those first 2 enrollments, I'm pretty much holding their hand through the process. We're doing either 3-way call or 3-way message. They mostly do not have that conversation without me because they need to be able to see how the process goes, learn language, that sort of thing. People are nervous. And so if they can hear how simple it is coming from you, then that's going to help them be able to have more conversations in the future. So it helps them with learning too. So that's what we do that for. So getting the 3-way calls and the messages going. And then we do once we figure out a couple of people, then we write their first Facebook post. And I pretty much just help write this for them. Depending on the person, it's always different. I honestly don't have a template, but there are templates on isagenixbusiness.com of, initial Facebook posts that you can do. But I usually go through, the person they are. Are they a mom? Are they, my recent one was a flight attendant. What is it that they do? Like, why are they wanting to do this? And how are we going to post this? So we write up their first Facebook post. And we do that right away because the amount of response they get, then they're shocked how many people are interested. Like, that is the most common response I get from the associate is they were so surprised how many people started reaching out to them about it. So then they realize, oh, okay, I do have people I can share with, So finding that if we can get that post up there before we go into making their whole list of people, it actually makes them realize they have more people than they realized were there. So we get that post up there. Then once we get the post, we get their party scheduled. And we've been having a lot of success with doing with this setup for parties. We do it in 3 stages. And we get the party scheduled, but now they've had people showing interest. They have people that they can invite. Then they're also not as nervous about contacting, other people, inviting them to this party. So the 3 stages in our parties is we come up with 3 different parties. And we schedule the first one, and then we schedule another one for maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, and then another one 2 or 3 weeks later. The first party, I do the whole thing. For anyone who is, honestly, within like an hour, it's worth it. So I'll travel to their party. So I put on the whole thing for them. I'm like, all they got to do is have the spot where we're having it. And I bring my shakes and I bring my bars and I set up the video and I talk to all the people as they come in and I present it for them and answer all the questions. Then the second party, they are excited and they're ready to kind of set it up, and I have them share their story, and then they'll intro me, and then I will answer questions. But they go through the sharing their story, sharing the video, all of that part, but then I will share my story at the end and then answer the questions. And then by the third party, I am just in attendance. And if they, need help with a question, great. But usually they feel like they've got it and they felt supported by you, and you're still there too. So they're not, as nervous about getting a question that they may not know. So we do that for the 3 parties. And when we've been doing that now, I have had more people consistent in continuing to host parties because they now have a process and they feel like they've got it, they've been able to see it, and that they can do it. So that's the process that we go through with that. And then I check in with people with the business, honestly, like every week, forever. Like I check in with them at least once a week. Some of your people, obviously you'll be talking to more, but even with business and with product, I check in with them once a week. So say on Mondays is when I send messages to, all my product people. And then, and this is just, personally enrolled. And then on Tuesdays or Sundays, depending on, if it's going to be like one of those big weeks, I will do my messages to all of my business partners or anyone who, is doing the business or, working on things. I'll send them all messages so that way everyone gets touched every week, but it starts that conversation with people. So the conversation will continue throughout the week, but I get that initial message out there so that we don't lose track of each other. I heard a really good training at one of our Super Saturdays a couple months ago, and it was a professional network marketing trainer. And he talked about, even your biggest business builders, that checking in with them once a week, because you never know where their head's at. You never know where people are at. And you would hate to get a couple weeks out and have someone feel, defeated, that you weren't able to help them get out of that, So you're able to have a conversation once a week, get over the no's they had, celebrate the wins they had, and just be able to help people feel good through the whole process. So I think that's about everything with setting people up. Oh, one other thing. So also when I set people up for the business, we do either in person or after we get their Facebook post up, and then before we have their first party, we either do in person or on Zoom a little meeting. And I've done it with just the one person, or I've done it with, if there's a few people kind of coming in at the same time. But we get on, and that's when I go over the Map to Crystal Executive and how to get there. And then we get them committed to the next Super Saturday or local event, whichever is sooner. We have a monthly coffee and collabo here, whatever that looks like for you guys. But because that gets them plugged into our community, and that is what keeps people, excited through, through the hard times, through the good times, because we know this business, if we want people, we want people to partner with us long-term, and we know that this isn't just a short-term game. This is a long-term game. And so to be able to get people connected with more people and getting more ideas and realizing that this is bigger than just their one little pod in their little town is huge. And so if you can get people connected into that, then it gets them excited and see what's really possible. So with that, I think that covers all of it. I know that's a lot, but do we have any questions?
No. Thank you, Katie. If anyone has any questions, oh yeah, go for it.
No, that was so good, Katie. Thank you. I love it. I'm excited to get some of the PDFs that you had, the documents, and the coffee and collabo thing. I absolutely love. Mm-hmm. So, and then someone I was talking to earlier today, I don't think she's on, but I know she's going to watch the recording. And one of the questions that she had was, so even backing up a little bit, can you talk just for a minute? Like if someone says, okay, I want to do this, what do I do? What do I order? Like what do you present as far as pack options typically? Or, she said, I have people who are interested, but as far as getting them started, like how much is too much information? How much is not enough? Like, do you cover the main 3 packs? Do you send them ISA products? Like, what do you give someone if they're interested to get them to the point of saying, okay, sign me up?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I have some images that I can send to the group for that too, that actually came from Natalia. For anyone that knows Natalia, yeah, she did a whole thing on the Start stories, on the Start page, Start Instagram page. She did it on their stories one day, did the takeover, and she posted screenshots of exactly what she says. And I started using that even verbally when I was in person with people, and it works so well. So basically what it entails, and I'll send the images too, but basically what it is when somebody says, okay, I'm ready to do this, I say, okay, all we need to do is just figure out what products to get you started with, what system we're going to get you started with. And instead of what she does different, that I think is the key, instead of saying, okay, how much do you spend for your breakfast and lunch, and going through that whole thing, instead she says, okay, so typically, let's say you're getting a coffee and you're getting, like, she just kind of lays out, you're getting a coffee, you're getting a salad for lunch, maybe you had an apple and this and that, and then you had dinner at home, and she like kind of says the prices. She's like, so that runs you what, like $22 a day? She kind of lanes it out. And And they say, yeah, that looks fine. She's like, well, you are going to love me because this is a lot cheaper than that. And she just like, and so then she's able to present the value pack, the premium pack, and the basic pack at $20 a day, $15 a day, and $10 a day, but all of it already looks cheaper than the regular person's like every day, you know? Now, if somebody has, you know, if there is like a real price obligation, you know, then you can get into that, and getting products paid for, that sort of thing is usually the direction I go with that. But that's how I line out kind of the 3 packs. So initially when somebody says they're ready to do this, you know, I tell them, I go, okay, how this works is that you basically, I will get you all set up with your wholesale account, which will get you connected with our team and plugged into our support system and all of our resources. That's me being able to present to them that they're not going to just go on to Isagenix.com and, you know, pick whatever they want. So I say, I'm going to get you set up. That means you get to be plugged into our resources. So then all we need to do is figure out what you're going to get started with to be able to do your 30-day reset. And I always present it as a 30-day reset for the first month. You know, I'm like, this first month is your reset. So if you have those people who are, you know, saying, oh, I just want to get some shakes, you know, that sort of thing, I said, we can definitely do that. But I highly recommend a 30-day reset to get you going, to really reset your metabolism or reset your digestive system, ramp up your metabolism, and to really feel your best and get your energy back. And then from there, being able to really move into a lifestyle. But that reset is going to do wonders for you. And that usually works fine. Does that kind of help? You think that'll help?
Yeah, no, that's great. That's exactly what she's looking for. Yeah. So
okay, good. Yeah, I'll send those screenshots along too, because they were great. And that's what I've kind of dialed into my head is what she shared. And it really does work.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, good. Jennifer Domingos, yeah, just sent the part of the script too. Thanks, Jennifer. So yeah, that is, if you guys get a chance to read through that, that is part of what the script she sent. And it's really good. So I'll send all those screenshots too. Thanks, Jennifer.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
All right. Anything else?
Well, thank you all for
I just have a quick question.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, I know I'm kind of dark. So today I had someone, I enrolled her maybe like last week, and she's been having great results, and she's super hesitant about everything. She definitely doesn't want to post anything, and she doesn't want me to share any of her, like the pictures that she sent me. But she has a friend, a really good friend who she's been talking to like organically, who wants to know about Isagenix. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I will totally chat with her, answer questions, whatever. And I asked her, because I was like, it sounds like she really is going to want to enroll. I know that you're hesitant, but how do you feel about, me enrolling her with you? And she was kind of like, what does that entail? And I think I kind of blew it, because I don't know, I'm very transparent. And so I was like, so you'll have to log in, you'll have to, go and view this video and whatever. And I was like, shoot, should I have not gone there? So what do I do with someone who's super hesitant like that, but is already organically sharing because she's having great results and people are asking her about it?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So with kind of everything in this business, what I've found that really is helpful is presenting things to people without the response being able to be yes or no. So not presenting things as a yes or no question, so when you said, how would you feel about putting that person, you left it open to say, do you want that or do you not want that? Like I tell someone in that situation, I would say, sorry, there's dogs whining. I'm by myself, so everything's crazy outside. But I would tell people to, I tell them, okay, your friend is ready to get started. And so what we need to do is I'm going to help you transition your account so that way you can get the referral bonus back. And then that way we can get let's grab one other person, or do you know another person? And next month your products will basically be covered.
Gotcha.
That's, present it in that sort of way. So I tell them, let's get your account switched over so that way you can get the cash back in your product or in your pocket, and we can get you free product for next month. And so just saying it in that way, like, keeps it simple, and for them to be able to switch the account over. But then I also take away the yes or no. Usually it comes with an okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Forward speaking. Yeah.
Got it.
Exactly. Thanks, Heidi. I'm like looking for the term. So yeah, so that's what I would do, is I take away the yes or no. Even when I ask, and that goes for everything. When people say, instead of asking them, oh, do you want to do a cleanse day? It's like, what day are we cleansing? Do you want to get started? When are we getting, what day are we ordering your pack? That sort of thing. So just going into things more with the assumption of they're wanting to do it. And so what's our next step? And then if there is an objection, then you can go from there.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I really encourage you guys, go back and with starting to implement these processes. So it will share all the PDFs and all the screenshots and that sort of thing. But you can even go and readdress some of the people that you have in your business. Maybe you have some people that you feel like you didn't get started with right. I had plenty of those for a long time, that it was like I just didn't start them off right, and then I learned a better process, or maybe a way to even help them get things going. And so I really challenge you to reach out to a couple of those people in your business that maybe have kind of fizzled out or fallen off, and tell them, hey, I've been learning some new strategies. Let's get together, or let's get a party on the schedule, or let's get a Facebook post up, or hey, can we just jump on a Zoom and, chat about these things that I was learning? I feel like I missed this step with you, in the past. Because I'd say I had to go back to a lot of people and share the Map to Crystal Executive. I had never shared it. And so you can go back to those people and they, just share. I'm learning as I go, and I, want to be able to share this piece with you, and just take this opportunity to sort of implement some of those things with people that you have right now. And you might be surprised who you can really reignite in your business and get them excited. So I really go and do that this week with your accountability partners, and see, who jumps back in with you, who jumps on a Zoom with you, who puts a party on. You'd be really surprised. It's a great time to do that.
It's a great point, Kat. Well, thank you so much, each of you, for being on. And I think the biggest key Kat gave was making sure that no one cancels their order or returns their order before it gets there because of buyer's remorse. And the key to that is getting them plugged into the community. And if they can experience the love and the warmth before their box even arrives, think of how motivated they are to open that box. I cringe when people wait until their boxes arrive to welcome them on the page. That's not the proper order of events. You get them on that page the minute you hit submit for their enrollment, and you welcome them as soon as admin approves the request, so that they can feel all the love and start to really learn in the 3 days or so it takes for the boxes to arrive. So one of the best things we think you can do, for sure. So thank you, Katie, Noah. Thank you, everybody, for being here. As always, I will get this recording up as soon as possible, as soon as I get it on YouTube. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.